Hello everyone, Zane here and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you guys some of the items that you can sell as a Disciples of War or Magic on the market board to make some gil as a new player. Now this is going to be a short list because there's not too many good things you can sell between level 1 and 30 as the Disciples of War or Magic. So the first thing on this list is going to be the All-Goat skins. Now this is a common item, but the fact is that All-Goat skins are used for leathers, which is actually used in a lot of recipes from every single crafting class except for culinary. So on my server, which is Gilgamesh, you can see that they're not too expensive, but their multi-purpose is actually what keeps them selling very nicely. So on my server, they have been selling pretty decently the past 2 days, but on my server there's a lot of crafters, so it's depends on how many crafters are on your server, how many low-level crafters are on your server, and how much people are getting them themselves. But All-Goat skins are a great way to make some quick cash as a low level because of the multi-purposes that the leathers can be used for. Every class can use them, and even some of the higher tier recipes still need All-Goat leathers. Next is going to be the toad skins. This is about mid 30. So this is pretty much going to be the next one after the All-Goat. Again, they're not as expensive as the All-Goat, but still, as a mid-level crafter, these can be quite expensive. As you can see here, a lot of people are selling them, so we have 48 hits, which is why the prices are so low. But again, they have sold quite nicely over the past 3 days. Next is going to be my favorite skin, and that's going to be the boar skin. Or boar hide. So there's not too many hits on my server here, which is great because that's jacking up the price to around 1400, and you can see they sold quite nicely the past 2 days, even though it's been won by one person. This is around, I would say, like level 30 to, I would say, about 40. And there's a lot of recipes that actually need boar leather in them, especially armor. So that's why it makes it pretty much the go-to leather and hide if you are trying to make a crap ton of gil. Next is Diorite webs. Diorite webs is to make the velveteen, which is actually pretty expensive. Now, even though it has a lot of hits on my server, the necessity for Diorite webs outshines the prices, really. If your server doesn't have too many, they can be expensive, but on mine they're incredibly cheap. But they're actually probably one of the most sold so far. They've been selling all day from 6 AM to currently time, which is around 4 PM. Velveteen's using a lot of recipes, so Diorite webs, depending on your server, can be quite expensive. And I'm going to go back to the All-Goat, but we're going to be going towards the horns this time. The horns is actually quite crucial to making the horn glue and also the spruce plywood, which actually is used in getting the Fieldcraft Inventory 3s and the Mastercraft Inventories for endgame crafting, which are extremely expensive. These drop rather nicely, but they also can be a pain in the butt when you don't get them. They also could be bought in the Cobalt Beast trap, but again, they're pretty expensive, and this is a gil making guide, not a gil spending. So as you can see, it's 24 hits, not much, but they can be pretty expensive, especially the high quality ones. They've been doing great past 2 days. If you have a server that really knows their worth, they can be quite expensive. Next is another horn, and that is going to be the Antelope Horns. Now, the Antelope Horns is to make the horn scale armor and staffs for Goldsmith. As you can see here, we have 19 hits, and they are more expensive than the Algo. Even though their purpose is very limited, they are actually pretty expensive. Not too many sold on my server the past 3 days, but again, that's my server, and because not too many recipes needed, I'm not surprised that they haven't sold like the Algo. But again, Antelope Horns can be quite expensive even though they have very few uses. Next, we have the Megalo Crab Claws. Now, these suckers are actually used to make crab oil, which is pretty much used in blacksmithing. As you can see here, these things are insanely expensive. And there's only 19 hits. Again, they have sold great in the past 2 days. There's a couple of items that really dip down really low because people don't know how to undercut very well. But crab oil can be very useful in most of by mid-level blacksmiths. And the second to last thing on this list is going to be the blue land traps leaves. Now, these are used in making the elemental ward potions, which their effect has been changed. Also making, I think, one of the growth formula. I don't remember which one. I think it's Gamma. And also have, I think, a couple other uses, but they're limited uses. But the fact is that the ward potions are used in the Exali Beast Tribes and also I think Grand Company tournaments as well. So that's why they have been a little bit expensive, even though there's a lot of hits. I'm surprised that they're pretty much sold like this. As you can see, even though it's been by about one person, they have been selling like hotcakes. Low-level alchemists can definitely use this, especially if they're going to the beast tribes and then doing the deliverance quest. And the last but not least thing on this list is actually a dungeon item, and it is fine wax from the Dungeon Hawk Manor. Fine wax is used into making housing items from the Hawk Manor. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and queue into the dungeon and I will show you guys where exactly you can find them. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so here we are in Hawk Manor. And as you can see here, this is pretty much where you start in the dungeon. You go through the halls here. You get your first key in this room right here. In the second room, the key will be right here. Now, as you can see over here by the cellar, this side room here, you have to go through a couple of maidens and some toadstools. But once those are cleared out, you go ahead and use the tiny key, open this door, and you have a chance of getting fine wax. These is not guaranteed to drop. You have a chance of getting high potions or fine wax themselves. So let's hope that we get the fine wax. Unfortunately, we got the high potion. So I will be back again until I get the fine wax. So I will see you guys in a bit again. There we go. So it took me about 3 times to get this stupid fine wax to drop, but there you go. You actually get 3 pots of fine wax thanks to an update from a long time ago, which gave us 3 items instead of just 1. So after you get that, you pretty much just leave the dungeon to the duty finder menu, and then you repeat the process until you get more. So now let's look on the market board to see how much these suckers are going for. So as you can see here on my server, they're going for 22,000. That is probably one of the most expensive items on my list here. Now, as you probably can tell, they haven't sold like exceedingly fast, but when they do, it is a huge moneymaker. It's used in a lot of housing recipes. So guys, that is going to be all the items on my list for a low-level Disciples of War and Magic. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you found it useful. Any comments, questions, concerns you guys have, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'm more than happy to answer any of you guys' questions. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new for more Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood content. So until next time guys, may you forever walk in the light of Lord Bahamut.